I truly believe that we are at the dawn of a golden age in Hollywood. And today I'm going to tell you why. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back into another video. I hope you all have a great day. And today I'm not even gonna take up a bunch of your time. We're talking about Dune Part 2 today. I am so excited to finally sit down and give my full thoughts on this epic sci-fi classic that I think Denis Villeneuve has made today. Before we even get any further into the video, I want to hear your thoughts. What did you think of Dune Part 2? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know why in the comment section below. But let's just get right into it. I'm not going to waste a bunch of your time. I want to get in. I want to start talking about this movie. First things first, Denis Villeneuve. Round of applause. I think that this, and this has been talked about forever now, adapting Frank Herbert's book Dune is a near impossible task. This was not something that was supposed to happen, let alone be done in such an effective way. But what Denis Villeneuve has done here, in both the first, but more importantly in the second movie, is something special. We are witnessing a moment in movie history with this movie, just in terms of him being able to adapt this very densely this very dense filled text that many deemed impossible to adapt. So I just have to give my props to the man behind the vision, Denis Villeneuve. He absolutely destroyed it. I am someone, just a little background, who has seen David Lynch's Dune. I saw, obviously, the first Dune from Denny. I read the book. I know about it. Like, I've done my research, and there are things that are left out here from the original text. But that is to be expected when you are adapting a movie, especially with a book that is as densely written as Dune is. Of course, there is going to be some things that are omitted. Now, in my opinion, and again, it's been a few years since I've read the book, so I could be a little bit off base here, but in my opinion, I don't think that anything left out was so detrimental to the story that it took away from the story. I think that everything that needed to be here was here. And I think that Denny did it in a way that was so consumable to the regular audience that a book as dense and kind of difficult as Dune is, people are going to be flocking in troves to the theater to watch this movie. And that all is on the back of Denis Villeneuve. An absolute visionary. A bunch of his movies are some of my top movies of all time. I love Arrival. I think Sicario is fantastic. And the Dune movies are incredible as well. It's not every day we have a director like this making these huge sci-fi classics. You know, we got Christopher Nolan, but and Steven Spielberg has done some stuff like this, but that was kind of the past, the old guard, and now we're into the new guard. But Denis Villeneuve really absolutely destroyed this movie in the best ways possible. And that also comes behind the camera directing as well. I think that this is such a tightly directed film. I think that I saw it in IMAX. Watching it in IMAX was such an immersive experience. The way that Denny composes shots, and I've seen this in a few reviews, the way that he composes shots, and then you leave it to Greg Fraser, who we will talk about momentarily, the way he composes shots and the way he visualizes certain shots happening is so incredible. It is an amazing feat of filmmaking, and it is filmmaking at its purest form. And I was absolutely blown away. You feel like you are on the planet. You feel like you are among the Fremen. You feel like you are there. And that sense of immersion is just, it's so hard to do, but it's done so perfectly here. It really is. I absolutely loved it. All right, let's talk about the technical now. That's the next thing I want to talk about, because this is a feast for the eyes, really. And I already just talked about the way that Denny composes shots, the vision that he has, and then it all comes down to the execution from Greg Fraser, who is slowly but surely becoming one of, if not my favorite cinematographers of all time. He is cementing himself with his resume as one of the most impressive people behind a camera ever. And he does that here. There are shots here that are so layered and so deep, and every pixel on the screen, there's something happening that you're left looking just in awe at this world and these shots. And you've seen some of the shots in the trailers, but like this entire movie you can take a photo of and frame on a wall. I mean, this movie is so beautiful to look at, and it's an amazing, again, feast for the eyes, like I've already said. And Greg Fraser taking Denny's vision and putting it to camera, it's so good. It's so good. Everyone from the costume design is phenomenal. I think the set design is so good. I forget which. I watched a bunch of reviews before I went and saw it the other night. But I think one of the reviews said that none of this feels like tacky, cheesy CGI bullshit. You like this all feels so real and worn in, and I think a lot of that does have to do with the set design, and they filmed a lot of this on location. Obviously, you can't do it all on location because this is like a hardcore sci-fi movie, but filming a lot of it on location really does do justice to these types of movies. And I think people need to do more of. And I get it's expensive, but like if you've got these big budgets, invest them in location scouting and going out and shooting on location. So I already covered the set design and the costume design. The sound design here is immaculate. It is so well constructed and so well executed. I absolutely was at awe. This is not just a feast for the eyes, this is a feast for the senses. That's really what this movie is, because you feel the big booming sound in your chair. You hear the little whispers in the background, and you hear all the environment around you, and then what you see is just incredible. Like, this is a feast for the senses, not just for the eyes. And that's why you go to the movies. That's why you go sit in a movie theater around a bunch of people and you are immersed in this experience. That's why you go to the movies, and that's why a film like this is so special and should be cherished. I'm just saying. The performances here are just as good as everything I've already talked about. Of course, Timothée Chalamet as Paul. You're watching this boy grow to a fighter, grow to a leader. And that coming-of-age story is fantastic. And Timothée Chalamet, he's at the heart of it. Zendaya is, I believe, the emotional core of this movie. She is the heart and the soul. You are living through her, and you are feeling her emotion just in her face. I think the facial acting, and I know that sounds kind of weird, but that is a thing. And that is a thing. You know, we talked about it with the Batman and Robert Pattinson. The facial acting in this movie is so effective in conveying emotion without saying words. And I think that that's so great. And I think Zendaya in particular is so good at that, especially in this movie. We got some newcomers here, of course, as well. I think that Austin Butler as Feyd-Rautha is absolutely terrifying. He is as psychotic as you would expect this character to be, and I absolutely loved his performance. I know some people were like, he sounds like Stellan Skarsgård, and he sounds like the Baron, and I'm like, yeah, but he's also like, that's his uncle, and they're from the same family, so like it kind of makes sense. And I fully bought into it, and I absolutely loved it, and he was absolutely demonic, and it was terrifying, but I loved it. Florence Pugh as Princess Irulan. I would have liked more screen time with her, but also in the book, she's not really in it either, so like I kind of get it. I have a feeling in the third movie, we will be seeing a lot more of her. Now, I have not read Dune Messiah. That is actually on my list of next books to read, so I'm going to have to read that next, but at least from what I'm hearing, and at least from what we see, I'm sure we'll see more of her in the future. That's all I'm gonna say. And yeah, the rest of the cast is really great as well. I think that they all play great supporting roles. I think Rebecca Ferguson's great in here. I think, Josh Brolin, I think gets kind of a bigger role here that I really enjoy. I always forget, and I almost forgot in my 3-minute review yesterday, Javier Bardem, I think is one of the MVPs of this movie. I think he is. So this movie, a lot of this movie is about religion and belief and things like that. And I think Javier Bardem is kind of the key surrogate of those ideas. And he is the one that really is showing those ideas from the page to the screen, and showing how, a story and a belief and a prophecy can bring a large group of people together, and just that pure blind belief, like, can change people. And I think that Stilgar is the big, again, surrogate of these themes, and he's the one that shows them the most. And I think Javier Bardem did a fantastic job of that. This film, like I said in my review that I put out a few days ago, is a very layered look at, I think, really to the core religion. That's really what this is about. And it's about both the goods and the bads of religion. It's about radicalization of religion. It's also about how religion can unify while also tearing apart. It's a very poignant look at that kind of system. And I think that it was a lot, and it was very dense, and it was a lot to take in, but I think it worked well, and I think a lot of that is on the back of Javier Bardem and his performance. That's what I will say about that. Kind of wrapping up my thoughts on the movie as a whole, it is a modern sci-fi classic. I believe that. I have not said the M word, and I won't. Do I believe it is? Yes, but I'm just not going to say it because everyone else is. So we all know it is, the M word. You all know the M word I'm talking about. I believe that it is, but I'm not going to say it because everyone else is. But I believe this will go down as a modern sci-fi classic. It is Denis' Empire Strikes Back, like Nolan said. It is his magnum opus of this time. And I'm so excited to see what he does in the field. Like that's obvious because he's such a talented voice in Hollywood and such a talented creative in Hollywood. So that's kind of obvious that I'm excited to see what he does in the future. But I'm really excited to see what he does in the future because it's just that good. This movie's just that good. And I really think it will last the test of time. I do, because again, this is such a popular sci-fi story. And up until now, it was seen as impossible to adapt this story. But he did it, and he did it well, and he did it in a way that people are going to be coming back to it for years and years and years and years to come. Now, I'm going to leave you guys with this. I teased it at the very beginning of the video, and now I want to talk about it. I feel personally like we are at the dawn of a new golden age of Hollywood. And let me explain. Studios, now there is a lot of bad in Hollywood going on. I mean, just look at what's happening at Warner Brothers, shelving these movies, these fully completed movies that will never show the light of day for tax reasons or monetary reasons, I guess, which is so stupid. There is a lot of that. But then you look at the flip side, and there are studios taking chances on these directors to have their own visions and give them big budgets to make these visions real. We saw that last year with Barbenheimer, with Oppenheimer and Barbie. You give Greta Gerwig and you give Christopher Nolan huge budgets to make abstract movies that are not based on an IP Barbie technically, but you know what I'm saying. And now you get Dune, and I get that it has an existing IP, but you give a big budget and you give this director the freedom to make it the way that he sees fit, and you break it up into 2 parts, and you don't meddle. You don't meddle with it. We are starting to see that become more of a norm. We are seeing more of these indie films start to see the light of day. These non-English language or foreign films start to see more of a light of day. We had people pack theaters in troves to watch a 3.5-hour movie about the Osage murders last October, November, but it was directed by Martin Scorsese, and people went and watched those movies because that's what the audience wants now. They see what's happened in the large IP world of superheroes and other IP rebooted, and they're sick of it. Regular theater goers are starting to lighten up and be smarter about what they want to see. And I think that will lead to a new golden age in Hollywood. We had the superhero phase. And superhero movies, let me say, will never go away. And I'm a superhero fan. Deadpool 3 is my number 4 most anticipated movie of the year. I'm not going to be a hypocrite here and say that superhero movies need to go away forever. I love superhero movies. But I think that we've seen the reports from Variety about Marvel. They are trying to prioritize quality over quantity after they saw that the quantity over quality failed. And people are wising up to that. And that is why I think we are entering a new golden age of Hollywood, where the theater goers are wising up to better, more quality storytelling over mass quantity of an IP that they used to love. So I think Hollywood is starting to see a seismic shift in what the audience wants to see. And I think that is a positive seismic shift. Will it happen? I can't say for certain whether it will or will not. I'm not going to forecast the future of Hollywood. But just what we've seen in the past few years leads me to believe that it will. We saw Tenet re-release this past week. And from what I saw in reports, it had a pretty decent box office. It is a re-release of a movie that came out during COVID that people thought was too confusing from Christopher Nolan. And it's re-released in the year 2024 to a big box office. Big for a re-release. I'll clarify. That didn't happen 3, 4, 5 years ago. But it's happening now. These audiences want to see original stories from these incredible creatives. Everything Everywhere All at Once did huge box office. It won Best Picture. People love that movie. And it is a unique, fresh idea that no one's ever thought of. It took the multiverse concept and flipped it on its head and made it something that people wanted to watch. Again, that's just me. I can't forecast. That's not my expertise, but I can give my opinion based on what I've seen. And what I've seen is audiences are starting to wise up. So we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. What you think? Just give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on Dune. Like I said, did you like, did you hate? Let me know why. Do you think that audiences are starting to wise up to Hollywood? Do you think that we are about to enter a golden age of Hollywood? I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. That's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for the support on the channel as of late. My last few videos have done very well, and I really do appreciate that. I appreciate you all watching. If you've not already, please consider subscribing. My goal is a very lofty one. It's to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We are just below 1,600. We're almost there, but we are just below 1,600 subscribers. That's a very, very lofty goal, but I do have confidence that we will get there. I'm putting out more videos this year. I'm very excited about what this year in film has, and I'm very excited to bring you guys along for the ride and give my thoughts. That's really what this is for, and growing the community. Make sure you follow me on social media. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my second channel. I'm trying to grow that to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. That's the goal for that channel. 3-minute reviews for every single movie I see. Go check out that channel. All that stuff will be linked down in the description. And again, just thank you. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I remember covering Dune Part 1 when it came out in 2021. And I was very, very excited for this. This was my most anticipated movie of the year by far. I'm seeing it at the end of February. So we may have started off a little too quick and a little too hot, but honestly, I don't regret it. I love this movie, and I think you're going to love it too. That's pretty much it. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.